Hey guys, this is Kelly. I am back with another process video. Today's layout is for Stuck Sketches and I am using their November 1st sketch. And I am going to stay pretty close to the sketch itself strictly because I already had these two photos printed up. But you can easily change the sketch up with some smaller square photos, maybe 2 by 2 or 3 by 3, or you could even do a 4 by 6 horizontal, and it would work very well with this. And another way that you could do it would be to turn the sketch on its side, or even flip it to where the photos were at the bottom as opposed to the top. So that is one of the fun things about sketches, is just trying to figure out how you can make it work for your photos. I am using the Crate Paper Cool Kit collection. I don't have a whole lot of this and I wish I had more. Isn't that the way that it always goes? I attribute this though to the fact that I don't have a local scrapbook store, and I feel like I did a much better job of picking the embellishments that I really thought that I would use when I had a local scrapbook store. Online, I just don't get the same feeling, and once I get the collection and see other people using it, I'm thinking, oh, I could use this and I could use this, and I'm not going to use what I thought I was. So, it's just a struggle because I don't want to buy the entire collection each collection that I like, well, because I just can't afford it, number one. But anyway, let me get back to the layout. So I went ahead and I used an offcut of the orange pattern paper and brought the strip down at the bottom. And it's not like that on the sketch. I just felt like the bottom needed a little bit of weight with these darker colors. And I took one of the pattern papers, the blue chevron, and I just cut it down into a banner. The sketch has a few banners, and I just wanted to include a couple as well. So I had pulled out my shimmers to use on this page as well. I think this yellow is called No Yoking, and I love the color, but I don't use it very much just because it's a really bright yellow. And I knew that with this collection, it had some of that bright yellow and it would be perfect to use. I did not gesso my page, or gesso, I'm not sure how you say that. Well, I did not prime it, how about that? And I just knew that I was just going to do a little bit of mist, and that was pretty much it. I just wanted some little pops of color behind the paper layers. So I went ahead and pulled out this blue, I'm not sure which color this is. It might be See You in the Morning. It's also by Shimmers. And I should have completely dried the yellow before I added that on because of course the blue spread a little bit into the yellow and it turned colors, but I just wasn't going to worry about that, and I ended up covering it up, so it wasn't a big deal whatsoever. So you can see how the cardstock did warp with this, but I knew that most of my layers were going to be covering it up anyway, and so it didn't bother me. So I am going to go ahead and get out a pen and outline my layers. I chose, I think this was a 0.5 pen, and I'm just using a couple of messy lines across the edges of the paper to just bring a little bit more boldness to the paper layers. I felt like it was getting a little bit lost even with the mist underneath the paper layers, and I just love the way that it ends up looking. If I get stuck on a layout, sometimes I'll just think, do I need to stitch it or do I need to outline around the layers? And usually that just brings so much more life and energy, I guess, to the layout. So try that if you get stuck. See if that helps you. So I'm liking how this is coming together, but I'm still feeling like it's missing a little something. And while I'm thinking about it, I'm just going to continue doing the outlining. And I'm going to go ahead and look on the cut apart sheet to see if there's something that I can use for that. And I'm going to be looking at the stickers. And when I looked at the cut apart sheet, I saw this Play Hard, Love, and Grow 3x4 card. Now, when I originally looked at this, I did not think that I would be able to use a lot of the cut aparts, and this is one that just wasn't even on my radar. But the Play Hard can definitely apply to music, and these pictures are of my son at his first camp that he went for. It's for music, specifically orchestra, and this was the summer before 7th grade. So when I looked at this collection, I had picked several things that I knew that I would use, and then I knew that there would be plenty that I wouldn't, just because, you know, unless I went and scrapbooked some really old pictures of my son. The star side of the paper was really why I had gotten this sheet, and I might have to get another one because I absolutely love that side. I really prefer girlier colors, just because that is what I like. And, you know, I do force myself to get collections or things, you know, for my son, just because, you know, I don't always want to use pink and flowers on boy layouts, because let's face it, you know, it's nice to make a layout fit the theme or fit, you know, your child. And I have been really surprised at this collection. I didn't get a bunch of it just because I thought that it was going to be pretty limited, but now I'm wishing I had gotten more of it. I am just enjoying it that much. So I am liking the way that this is really, you know, starting to come together. I'm going to go ahead and get things stuck down because I don't want them to move. There's nothing more irritating to me than layers that move around the page once I decide where I want them to go. And that doesn't mean that I will never pick it up. I just try to put the amount of adhesive down that I need to put it down, and I also try to get it just in the center of the card. That way I'm not, you know, if I need to rip it up, I'm not worried about ripping the paper where I will see it. So I decided to put this one photo up on craft foam. I just really liked that photo as well because he was watching the high schoolers play at this point, and this child was just, you know, in awe, and he was riveted, and it was just really neat to watch him be that enthusiastic, and his love for music has just completely taken off, and it's definitely his thing. So I'm going through the sticker sheet and I saw the awesome word, and I decided I'm going to go ahead and put that on wax paper for a couple of reasons. I'm debating on whether or not to use another paper layer underneath the awesome, and I just wanted to see how it looked on its own, and in a minute I'm going to pull out some of the different layers and see if I like it better with or without. I end up choosing without. I felt like that it just made more of a bolder statement with just the orange, and I love paper layers and I love pattern paper and I want to showcase it, and that is definitely one of my favorite things to do, but sometimes I feel like that less is more, and that right there looks pretty good with just the gray underneath it, but I knew that I wanted to put the stars to the side, and I didn't want to waste any more of that gray paper because, as I mentioned, it is truly one of my favorite sheets in this collection. So I am going to just put it down by itself, and I do like the way that it turned out. So that sticker just says number 1, and I popped that up with foam as well. And I've got that silver way to go sticker, and I play around with this arrow just to see if I could get it to work, and I don't like it. I am getting to where I feel like I have enough, and I think that if I have bolder colors, I tend to do less just because I don't want to overwhelm and I don't want it to get to be too much for me. I see other people that can really, you know, rock some amazing layouts with a bunch of pattern, a bunch of color, a bunch of embellishments. It's just not something that I can make work for me. So off camera, I add a little orange strip up at the top as well. I was looking at the layout after I had completed it, and I just really felt like it needed something at the top. So in the close-ups, you will see a little strip of paper up top as well, and I did add another sticker. So these silver sequins stars are from my stash, and they are teeny tiny. And I'm just going to pull out some of the Ranger Multi-Matte Medium and get those adhered down. And I'm trying to make them scattered with, you know, out looking like they were placed every, you know, sequin was placed in that exact spot. But it's hard because they stick to my fingers, and so it's not like I can flick them off of my finger and get them to land. So it's just one of those things that I just kind of work with what I've got. So that's pretty much it for me today. Be sure and check out the Stuck Sketches blog. We have a couple sponsors this month again, and we encourage you to play along with us and link up your layouts, and there's a chance to win a prize from one of the two sponsors. So thanks so much for joining me today. I do have close-ups in the end, and I will see you guys soon. Take care. Bye.